Welcome to RebelAstrology.blogspot.com, part 2 for the week, or for the time of 5/27/11. And I am your Rebel Astrologer, A. Drobny, and we're going to bounce off of what we just talked about, and we're going to go back and we're going to look at Jupiter, because Jupiter, while sextiling Neptune, which is really amazing. If you grab a hold of that, you grab a hold of a lot. It's also trined up to Pluto, which means that we're having a moment, Jupiter representing expansion, philosophy, adventure, Pluto representing the power we give away, our relationship to our own personal power. And in many ways, this particular interaction talks to our integrity, and this is a great time to examine our integrity, whether we are being completely upfront, whether we are telling the truth. Usually when we're not telling the truth, we're doing it out of a sense of, drumroll, disempowerment. We are not owning our power. We are not feeling we are worthy of good things, so we have to play it like, oh, surely this good thing that I want is so rare and so wonderful that it wouldn't present itself unless I cheated. What are you putting out into the universe when you say that? And can you really have the rare, wonderful thing you want on the real terms that you want them in a good way when you're going about that? On the other hand, it is a great time to say, hey, wait a minute. I'm making all these creepy deals for stuff that I don't want to give away, that's about myself, to people for things that I shouldn't be asking for. Like, this is an excellent time to investigate that. In addition, and these all kind of work together in a strange way, that conjunction we talked about in the last thing, the Mars, Venus, Mercury conjunction, the I want it, I think it, I go after it, that melding of those three great concepts is trined up with Juno. Now, what's Juno? We just talked about this in the written blog. Juno was the queen of the gods, and she could tell you about the secrets of marriage, but more, she was also the goddess of commerce. She was the goddess of bureaucracy, and she is the goddess of, in many ways, things that maybe aren't quite so flashy, but if you don't have them under control, they really can mess with you in a bad way. Well, what's the secret to Juno? Juno is all about how we negotiate what we give up in our relationships, what we expect in our relationships, whether they're love relationships or not. Generally, Juno works best, and it speaks best to a one-on-one situation. So what is Juno? What is a trine between Juno, Mars, Venus, and Mercury telling us? Well, what it's telling us is what we're after, what we want, what we think is in an excellent place to look at itself in terms of what we demand from our interactions, our real value. You know, if you think about the stories between Jupiter and Juno, which were the most common stories about Juno. Juno was the only goddess that Jupiter ever held as equal to himself. And part of the reason he did was she was constantly making him. She got a bad rap because they said, oh, vindictive Juno, blah, blah, blah. Well, Jupiter was kind of a jerk. He was sleeping around without consent, without full disclosure. He was not being incredibly respectful of his wife, and she laid it down. Now, am I asking you to go slit your husband's tires? No, I'm not. In fact, the better of the ways to go about this is just by owning it up front and not accepting it. Anger is not something we need to do. Anger is usually a result of Mars, but we can find a calm assertion. Discomfort, disapproval, those are okay. We don't have to go to anger. We can say, this is it. This is where it is. This is what I expect. I expect equality in my relations. crazy. Let's repeat that. I expect equality in my relations. I expect to get what I need from my relations, whether it's marriage, whether it's a job. You have a right to ask for what is yours. Dignity, consideration. This is also a good time to look at that in a very balanced way as well, as far as what am I demanding that I don't necessarily have a right to. We all are equally worthy. And if we're asking others more, we can also play that card the other direction and be like, well, I'm expecting, now I'm mad. Well, got to work on those expectations. And we are going to follow this up with the final one. Again, you can tweet us at RebelAstrology, or you can go ahead and check us out on Facebook if you look up Rebel Astrology. You can also email me for RebelAstrology5-27-11, and we're running a little contest right now. So check that out on the written website, RebelAstrology.blogspot.com. And we'll have one more video this time around. But if this is all you catch, enjoy, and really remember, everyone is worthy, beautiful, and wonderful.